Here we come back again. Yeah. All right. Part 2, Dungeon World, Episode 1, The Vagabonds. We are back. We left off in quite a little cliffhanger. So I wanted a dragon. I wanted dragons. So I made a mech dragon. So sue me. Whatever. Here we are. We're back. Let's see what kind of danger we can continue to get ourselves into. And yeah, and all things are good. All systems are going. Thanks, guys. Mic's on. We're recording. What do you guys do? You got this big old black metal dragon, red glowing eyes. It used to be Crow, the caravan leader. You're not sure if Crow's in there or not. Well, you know he's in there. You just don't know if he's still there.
Goofy. Actually, just gonna go for spout lore. See if we've got anything in my brain pan that'll be helpful.
About the mech dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead, and that would be a plus int, which is your forte.
10.
Okay. There you go. This is a mech dragon. It's made of parts. It's been put together. Like as far as elemental damage, like you can bang into it and break it apart eventually, right? Elemental damage like acid and wind and earth and things are, they'll do okay. However, that I'll tell you that this sort of thing would be, because it's made of steel and gears, is definitely immune to fire, but it's definitely weak against electricity. And you're pretty sure, despite looking as big and heavy as it is, it can definitely probably fly like dragons are. It's not like a true dragon, obviously, but, it looks like it's replicating one pretty well. And that's when the dragon starts beating its wings really fast, like it's going to take off or do something with them. What do you guys do? And now this is only for you to know, unless you say it out loud. This is only your knowledge, Thunkel.
I get. How far am I from area?
I think you're on one side. You're on the one side of the wagons, and on the right side of the middle wagon, and Arya's on the left side of the back wagon. Rediger just ran past him, on the opposite of the wagon as you. So,
okay.
Yeah, they're a few.
I need Arya's help. I just call for him. Arya, come over here.
So I guess Arya, since he's still getting goblin guts off of him, courtesy of Rediger, he hears Thad's voice, and we'll say he turns the corner and sees him, but then sees the giant dragon. So the question for DM, for Mr. Glasshour, would be, is this something that is covered in my bardic lore? Would this be a creature tied to the grand histories of the known world?
It's not a real creature. It's a construct. So I would say probably. You said what's your bardic knowledge specifically?
Grand histories of the known world.
History. I don't say it's history of the world.
Grand histories. Yeah.
Okay.
There's probably been histories about automatons. Maybe not this automaton, but there are plenty of songs of clockwork birds and
grand histories of the known world. Yeah, constructs are definitely a common thing, especially with weak mages. Mages are physically weak, so often they will build constructs to protect them or go do their bidding, do their dirty work for them, which is probably what the caster was in the middle of doing. And probably had an idea of how she wanted to use this, thing, and then she got her head chopped off and crushed. So yeah, that they used to be a common thing. And it looks like my Zoom camera just froze again. Hold on one second. I did not know why it's doing that last couple weeks. All right, there we go. So
you're gonna want to look at your stream overlay too.
A stream overlay? It was.
Yeah, we might be out of position now.
No, I'm there. I don't know how I stuck there, but I stayed there. Yeah, thank you.
Good.
Maybe that's an update they made with Zoom, because I noticed it's happening less. But anyway, so as far as your bardic knowledge there, choose an area of expertise. When you cover you can ask GM one question about it. So I'm going to say that you kind of ask about the constructs in general and know that they do mage's bidding, and protect them. But this thing is uncontrolled and loose at this point because the caster that made it is dead. I'll give you that.
So am I able to ask a question then?
What else did you have to ask about it?
Well, I thought based off of this is that if this creature was included in my lore, I could ask a question about it that you had to answer truthfully. And then if you want, I have to give the story on how I knew.
I guess. Okay, ask your question. I'll see how it works because I don't know if it's part of a grant. Well, I guess it could be part of the history. I was kind of telling you, but ask your question.
Do we need to get out of there?
Oh,
As in, is there any chance of us surviving this?
Yes, you know that constructs often, depending on how they're built, can be extremely dangerous, but not impossible to kill. They're not like magically like defensed, but you know that they can be weak to certain elements and invulnerable against others. You just don't know what they are. But you know that you can get. It's safe to get out of there, but you can take it. I mean, it's possible to defeat.
It is possible. Okay.
Where have you heard about constructs in your lore?
This one actually reminded Area of a very specific dragon that he had learned about when he visited a civilization that was very steampunk heavy. They kind of really liked this stuff. They liked all the metal machines and all that, and so he learned of these creatures. That the legend was that the gods who eventually would fight themselves, they had to create their own army, and so one of the gods was in charge of dwarves that basically created these dragons from within the mountains that they resided.
Okay, I like that. Sorry, I had to mute for the train there.
Okay, if that counts as my...
Rudiger's coming through.
No, that counts.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you want me to... If that counts, then
Yeah.
I'll wait until the next turn to do the other thing.
You can keep going if you want, but you guys kind of talk amongst yourselves and decide who goes. So I know Rudiger's on the move. Thunkel just called you over there. You ran over there. You're like, oh crap, and you consulted your knowledge, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. So I run up to Thunkel and kind of note that he's taken a beating. And it's like, so what did I wake up to?
That's a very interesting question, Area. Before we get to that, could you do me one favor?
What would that be?
You are a charming and eloquent man, and as I take your hands in mine and kind of shake them, and there in your hand you find a wad or a rod, and then you point, and I kind of like just point at that and think bad thoughts, and I kind of gesture up at the dragon with this wand in your hand, and kind of encourage you to trigger the wand. I can't afford to get that.
Okay.
I can't afford to die from this thing, but you can.
I can afford to die, and you're way more charismatic. So,
Okay, so the wand's been given to Area.
yeah.
I'll do as he says.
All right. So you take this thing in your hand, and it's like, it definitely feels like it resonates in your mind, like with an evil persona, an ego that's just like kill, death, destruction, blast stuff. Do you try to use it and cast with it?
Sure.
All right. You pointed at I'm assuming the creature and not at Rudiger for once, and go ahead and roll plus charisma. All right. Different. Okay, so so it goes from 3 charges down to 2 because that's a partial success, but it still goes off and it still strikes the creature. Roll 2d6 plus 4 2 times and take the higher result. So roll 2d6 plus 4, then roll 2d6 plus 4. Oh, shoot, son. Not too bad. Let me go find my character sheet. I have too many screens open here. Okay. Let me see. It's armor. Okay, so how much was that? 13? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Rudiger. You just... Oh, okay, so Ari, you just point, you're like, okay, or whatever, whatever it looks like. What's it? I mean, it's black lightning. I mean, do you have any way of, like, how does Arya look when he hesitantly uses the wand? Like, we got this elven bard here.
On a damage scale, how heavy is that?
That's a lot of damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
He points the wand up, but and he starts doing exactly what Thad thinks of like really negative thoughts and all that. And so he has his right hand pointed up, but then on his left hand, what you kind of see is you just kind of see like these black, blue, all these waves that kind of like emerge out of his shoulder, and then they fine tune into his hand, and then they actually hit the wand, and then the wand activates and shoots out.
Oh, little bardic emotion mixed with the ego of the wand, and just this bolt of black lightning. But it's not as jagged like this lightning. It looks a little more like a solid beam in this case. And the dragon like just starts to take off. It gets struck square in the face and just gets flown back and hits the ground and rolls, and then just picks itself up and screams and tries to leap into the air. Rudiger, what do you do?
Muted.
Yeah, sorry. So, did I see Crow get swallowed up by this thing?
I don't know. You were shoveling past area. The thing came down. I guess I'll leave that on you.
Okay, so I probably didn't. So, I rushed to like the front.
There's
And
the three other caravan guards. Now that the goblins have left, have all terrifiedly like hidden into the woods or off to the side somewhere. Just to set that for you.
and I see that Crow is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
So I look around, and then I remember someone told me to look up earlier, and I look up and I see the dragon, mech dragon thing, and I like, I'm just like kind of agape at it, and I look around,
Terrifying.
and I want to see if there's anything around here that I can use as a ranged weapon, maybe like a spear or something I could throw at it.
Actually, because they didn't take them, they just took the parts attaching them. There are all the long sleighs that are attached, or that were attached. They're curved in the front, but they are long javelin-ish like. But other than that, I think that'd be about all there is, unless you're going to try to pick up a broken tree branch, but that might not be as effective.
Javelins off of the dead gobos?
There's only a couple, and they didn't have javelins so much as like piecemeal swords and spears.
Okay.
So I guess you could grab like a small goblin weapon that's more like longer, or you have the sleigh or the rails off the sleighs. Those would be the two things that you would see.
Okay. I try grabbing one of the longer goblin weapons and pick it up, kind of get a feel for its heft. And I look up, rear back, and chuck it as hard as I fucking can.
Okay. Does that sound like a volley? Sounds like a volley.
That sounds like a volley.
Sounds like a volley.
That's a 7.
Okay. You can't pick the last one because you can't reduce your ammo. So you can take what you get in negative 1d6 damage, or you get the shot, but it places you in danger.
I'm gonna say I have to move to get the shot, and I place myself in danger.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your damage as you got to get around the wagon because it's like behind it. It's starting to take off in the air, but to get a clear shot, you move around to the side and you're like, all right, launch, and you can roll your D10 damage.
Okay. That's a 5.
I'm gonna note that real quick. And let me. Where's it? Oh, okay. So it gets through a little bit. Unlike electricity just frying its circuits, it's not quite as effective, right? But you do a little bit of damage as it gets through. And then this thing takes off, like metal and dust push everywhere, and it jumps up and it flies over the top of you, and it opens its gaping maw as it flies over you, and it spews what is its breath weapon. And you're like, uh-oh. And what its breath weapon is lots of jagged shards of metal just spraying down on you. Can you roll 1d10 plus 5?
Okay.
Plus 2 piercing. So you don't have to roll plus 2, just 1d10 plus 5.
Okay. 12.
12. Two go through armor.
Okay, so it all goes through now.
Okay. So what's that look like as far as with your hit points left? Like when this shrapnel storm breath weapon hits you?
I'm reduced down to 8 hit points from 25. I imagine it probably does its thing first and like is swooping around to try and use its breath. And as it opens up, I like chuck it, having like a good opportunity, and maybe like I catch part of its jaw, knock out a few of its teeth, and then it just explodes in this shower of steel that I'm not nearly prepared for. I try to block it with the Crimson Cleaver, and probably a good chunk of it gets blocked, but the cleaver has a hole in it, and it's not the biggest weapon. It's not nearly as big as me, and just impacts the outer extremities of my armor.
Yeah, it's all the loose spots. It gets just hits your face, gets your arms open spots, and just like you're bleeding bad.
Yeah.
So it does a flyby, and it flies up, it soars up, and it's turning around to come back again. What do you guys do? The three caravan guards are like, one of them's like, that's Crow, man. It ain't Crow, or it became Crow. Someone try to get him out of there. Like it's like Bill. Like Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton from True Lies. You know, it's like just, or even from Aliens.
Hey, so how far are Arya and I from Rudiger?
On the other, I mean, just cross over to the other side of the wagons.
Did we see him get hit?
You saw, I mean, probably, pretty much. You probably heard him like, and you just saw this like, like the sword, this gigantic sword's held up in the air, and this spray of metal, like almost a dark cloud of metal. Like imagine tons of caltrops just being spewed.
So do I still have those two gobos, the one who's feared of the other one? Are they still alive, or did I lose that one?
You still have them held. I actually kind of forgot about them myself, but they're still struggling and pulling each other around. But they're basically trying to get out of Dodge.
Okay. I want to drop that spell, cast invisibility on Arya, and then go over towards Rudiger.
Okay, cast invisibility then.
All right.
Okay. What will be your? Where be the wizard? That was what? Invisibility?
Yeah, invisibility. So.
Okay, so. On draw unwanted attention, lose the spell. What was the other thing?
I'll take the -1 whilst ongoing.
Okay. To cast a spell until the next time you prepare spells. Okay, so Yeah, that's to
Yeah, I'll
also.
still take the -1.
Okay, so Arya goes invisible as you tap him and you go over near Rudiger, and you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, that took a little bit of your energy, especially after the wand thing. You're feeling a little bit weakened. You need some rest, right? So, not quite as powerful to cast spells at the moment, but you are still okay. Arya's invisible. What do you guys do?
Sorry, Sean. I'm going to cast Arcane Art on Rudiger.
What does this do again?
I can heal. I can basically give extra damage,
That's right.
clear an enchantment, or help with assists.
What's your goal?
Heal him.
Okay. Go
So.
on. Roll plus charisma, I guess, right?
Sorry, man.
Oh no! Boo, 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 boo. Yeah.
What happened?
Nice. Go ahead and roll your 1d8 heal on him. Make it
Somehow I'm more important than I really should be.
trying to keep the fighter alive. All right,
You're the
Rudiger.
only one who's got any DSP to speak of.
What's your arcane art look like as far as the healing performance here as you go up to him? Like, and you're also invisible.
All right.
Might I remind you?
That's true. So I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter that you're invisible. I'm just saying that you are.
So. All right. Let me see here.
To give you an idea of how I look right now, I am like kneeling on the ground, this hand on the lower blade or upper blade, however you want to look at it, this hand on the hilt of the blade. And I'm just like this part, my helmet, my shoulders, my legs are just covered in these long spindly shards of metal. And there's just blood gushing out of my armor.
All right. So all of a sudden, you guys hear the mandolin playing. Now bear with me here. I'm actually going to try to rhyme this.
Oh,
So you hear the mandolin start playing. It's like, get up, mighty warrior, for you must do well. You still have to weave the tale of how the dragon did fell. And as that's going, again, the animation of starting from the shoulder that kind of targets to the hand, and then it shoots right at Rudiger. And we're gonna have the magic be the imagery of giant, like green fairies.
Oh, yep.
Just kind of, we'll just say it's kind of swarming all around him, and they're actually like picking out parts of his, out of his wounds and kind of dressing them up, or recovering them at least
Nice.
6 hit points worth.
Nice. I think that was great. And then, yeah, just cover these little green fairies everywhere, just like they're just like buzzing all over. They smell nice too, like spring and sunshine. And you just feel the caltrops being pulled out and the shrapnel, and you're patched up a little bit, Rudiger. The dragon has swooped around and it's diving back towards you guys. What do you do?
I am, as these shards, like a lot of them fall off of me, not all of them, but a lot of them, I look at these fairies and I'm like, fuck out of here. And I like draw my sword back onto my shoulder.
They're actually helping you. They're helping put the sword back on your shoulder.
Sure. I'll accept that, yeah. And then he takes it off from his shoulder and he points it at the dragon and he says, why don't you get out of here, you little shit? Fight me like a real man.
Okay.
So maybe like a charisma roll then to taunt him?
Do you want to... Okay, hold on. Well, I was going to have him just come down to try to... Well, no, let's see. So it's going to come down and you want to try to basically provoke it to come to you?
What if you provoke him to come to you, and Arya, you set up at like 90 degrees to him, so you get a nice broadside shot on this dragon with your lightning wand, since you're invisible.
Are you saying that to Arya? Or
I'm trying to figure out how to convey this best. I mean, it would be kind of an ideal thing.
Okay. So let's go. You can set up however you want, but I will have Rudiger defy danger with charisma in order, because he's not trying to defy it so much in. He's trying to make it come down to his level to attack him as opposed to hitting him from a distance, right? So
Right. Yeah.
okay, so Arya, you can set up any way you want and still hit him if that's what you want to go with. Like Thunkel's talking, he's like, "Hey man, get into position. Here it comes," and you can. And then we'll have Rudiger though first roll plus charisma. Arya's not being able to be seen, and Thunkel's on the other side of the wagon, so the dragon is at the moment honed in on the fighter.
Is there any way that I can spend that hold that I got at the start, right before we were ambushed?
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm gonna allow it for this roll. Yes.
Okay.
I forget, man. You guys have to remember your forwards, but yes, I'm glad you remembered it now. So you can modify your roll or just add +1 after.
Yeah. So I will. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this because it would be a -1 normally, so that'll cancel that out.
So it's straight up.
So it would be an 8.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Okay. So, as you come down, it comes at you like you're screaming at it, and it looks like it's listening to you. And however, it's not going to land. You're like, oh crap. It's going to come by and try to grab you with its claws. So it will still be close enough for you to swing your sword, but it's gonna keep trying to fly by and just grab you with its claws, as long as you keep taunting it. But if you let up for a second, it's gonna shift gears and attack Thunkel instead.
This actually could be better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it grab me because I'm gonna fucking hack this thing to pieces. So I'm gonna let it pick me up or grab me or whatever. If it doesn't actively grab me, I want to try and grab onto it and then just stab it as much as I can. So I'll take the attack and let it grab me.
Okay. Well, it's gonna try to, but you still get to do a hack and slash to see if it even, see how it goes. So go ahead and roll plus your strength.
Ooh, that's the first failure for me.
Mark experience.
Yep.
So your damage does not go through the way you want. As its claws come to grab you, your sword actually rebounds off it and flies out of your hands, and the dragon grabs you with its claws and picks you up.
My sword is chained to my arm, so it's probably just dangling there, but I get grabbed.
Okay, you get grabbed. Okay, yes. Roll d10 plus 5.
Okay.
As its claws grab you and sink into your body and begin to take off with you. And then I'm going to go to Arya/Thunkel.
That's 10. Is any of this armor piercing?
I don't remember. 2. It is 2.
Okay.
Where are you at right now?
Then I'm down to 4.
Okay. So the dragon comes down. He's like, what? The sword goes flying, but it's still attached to his arm. The dragon grabs and crushes him and tries to bring him up. What do the other two of you guys do?
I see the dragon claw pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
like going right by you. It's like right in front of your face. You're like, crunch. You're like, what?
So I look up and I'm like, hey, Thunkel, should I still cast this wand?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Thunkel, you're muted.
Your mic is muted.
I think you might be lagging a little bit.
You're
mute. That would help.
I just unmuted you. Go ahead.
I would say yes, you should, but let's see if we can get him to drop first. Is Crow still an entity inside of this dragon?
I mean, he
By
is.
that I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry.
by that I mean, can I cast fear on Crow versus Rudiger to make him afraid of the thing in his hands.
Do you want to try to spout lore and know if he's an entity, or do you want to just try to cast a spell?
I'll spout lore.
Actually, why don't you do discern realities? I think that makes more sense because you're studying the specific thing. So that would be a plus wisdom. That makes more sense.
Nope.
Mark experience.
Yeah.
I just had to open my mouth.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
That's all it took. Good job.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
I think. What's that? I still think we should nuke the dragon. I mean, no offense, Rudiger, but we can bring you back from the dead, most likely.
Well, he's not listening because he's getting taken away. What exactly? Because you're like He's like, should I shoot the dragon? You're like, like you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay, so yeah, you say you think you should. Yep, and
don't worry, he'll be fine.
So you're trying to consult discern reality, Thunkel, and you just totally zone in on that area. Something happens to you as Arya like casts the wand, and as you're thinking hard with your brain, you feel, you see it, you feel it. This black mist that escaped. Well, it's a black mist of some sort. Like suddenly swarms your face and engulfs your head, and you're like, what? You know, and it like goes in your ears, your nose, and your mouth, and you're like, you feel a searing burn on your forehead, and then suddenly
we're going the shadow monster from Stranger Things 2 route.
Oh yeah.
And suddenly it's gone, and suddenly the feeling's gone, and you're fine. You're like, what? And Arya, what were you doing?
Did he hear Thunkel's reply with all that going on?
Yes, that happened right before. So he's like, yeah, you should probably shoot it.
Okay. I kind of like, I kind of like step back for a second, then I kind of snap back into it. And then before I attack, I tell Thunkel, if Rudiger gives me any crap for this, you need to step in and take the blame.
Don't I always? No, hurry.
No, you don't always. That's why I asked you to do it. And then I cast.
All right, plus charisma. Oh!
All right.
Nice work. Again, 2d6 plus 4. Roll it twice. Take the better result. That might be just what the doctor ordered. Holy crap.
Oof. Here we go.
Go with 14.
Yep.
Nice.
Its armor does not reduce against the electricity. Plus, you get to take the better result. That's how the vulnerability works. So, this thing got about maybe 12, 15 feet up in the air as you turn and fire. Tell us what the whole scene looks like as you destroy the dragon with the lightning wand.
Okay. So he casts it the same deal. He points it with the right hand. You see the all the dark kind of swirly colors to give visual that he's thinking some really, really dark thoughts. And as he casts them, he realizes he can actually kind of exactly what he's thinking of. He can see like images of it in the beam.
Oh, nice.
But it strikes the creature. We're going to say, as it casts, it catches the dragon's attention. He turns to look at me and it hits him right in the forehead. He immediately opens his mouth, dropping Rudiger.
His claws?
And
yeah.
What's that?
His claws.
Sorry, claws.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
He basically lands. Rudiger scurries to safety, and this thing just starts kind of coming apart in sprockets and gears from like the top down until it's nothing but metal and gears and a whole bunch of crap on the floor.
And it falls into pieces on the ground, and also leaves a mangled body of the Crow, the caravan leader, in its messy wake.
So metalsmiths are going to have a field day.
It did come from a cube that was this big. So
after everything kind of falls apart,
in a good way.
Area drops the wands like, I just killed a dragon.
Yeah, Rudiger hates that that's the truth.
I pick up the wand and don't say much about it. I just tuck that away.
Okay, so you have the wand?
Yeah.
All right, mark on your gear somewhere that you have a lightning wand. It has 2 charges, and it does 2d6 plus 4. So the calm and the quiet starts to happen. Rudiger, you can pick yourself up a little bit. Crow is definitely dead. He's in a pile of stuff. Like he was forced into a bipedal position, and his spine and his legs and things were not pushed the right direction. And then you have the 3 caravan guys that are left with 3 broken caravans, a few goblin bodies, and the 2 twins or whatever we'll call them that were chained together. They took off, and the other ones took off. And that's the scene as you guys pick yourselves up. But victorious in its own way.
2 things. Rudiger, like, picks himself up and gets up on his feet, starts like waddling over to the caravan, and he says, he like looks around and is like, well, what's here? Did they get everything?
You almost beat that dragon, Rudiger.
Shut up. We gotta finish the job.
So, do we think Slayer area or area the Dragon Slayer? I kind of like the second one better. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't know, but what about area Rudiger's hero?
I want to discern realities and see if there's any, like, if there's enough supplies left to validate the extra trip, or if we should just leave these fucking things here.
Well, they didn't steal the supplies, right? They just stole the wheels, essentially.
A lot of the mechanical parts that put everything together, yes. And I like how you guys are talking about it, and Rudiger's like totally ignoring you. You can discern reality.
Oh no, he hears it. He's choosing to ignore it right now.
Sure, you can discern realities if you wish, plus wisdom.
Okay. Oh.
Mark XP.
Yep.
You
5
have,
out of 8.
you're too disorientated and frustrated to know, because you're not even sure exactly remember what the product is. But if you have the caravan guards there, they could probably fix them up again, or at least haul everything into one if they can, and just try to get as much there. They can try to salvage.
I stop as soon as I hear Savior Rudiger or whatever he said, and I like slam my hand down on the like one of the parts of the caravan, and I like turn slowly and I look over at Thunkel, and I like walk over and fucking clock him right in the face.
He goes to clock me, but I step to the left, and his hand hits steel.
Probably still makes a dent.
It still makes a dent. I'm going to go with Dex if I can.
Sure.
Why don't you? Well, you're gonna defy danger with your dex.
That's it. I'm just going to try and sidestep this and let him,
Sure.
punch where my head used to be.
Sure. Let's grind some XP here, guys. Why not? Let's roll.
Oh!
Mark XP, and I would say, to be fair, take a 1d4 damage to your face. As
Oh, shit.
I'll let Rudiger roll that.
Roll that.
2.
Your nose is broken as a gauntleted fist just punches you in the face. But Mark, you did mark XP, I hope, right? So,
All right, I'm going to cast XP on him, and his target is his beloved sword.
oh god, you guys are you guys are turning into terrorists. Wait, what were you gonna cast? Cause fear?
Well,
Yeah.
while this is happening, Area is just kind of like pointed elsewhere. It's like, area the steampunk champion. Area the steam dragons.
You hear that?
You know, he's just going on with his own.
The caravan guys are looking at Crow, looking at you guys, looking like, what are you guys doing? All right. I guess to be fair, I'll allow Rudiger to defy danger with his wisdom.
Okay. 9.
What's he defying danger on?
On your fear.
Oh, I haven't cast it.
I thought you were.
I haven't rolled it. Well, I was going to. I didn't know if you're botching that. I can roll it.
I'm just
See if it even works.
I know because it's hard. Like, well, which player does the rolling? So I'm just kind of doing this on the fly because you guys are PvPing each other. You sons of bitches.
Yeah, this is. It's only meant to go on for a moment. Then I take it away. It's just to jerk its chain.
Okay.
So.
Then I'm not going to give you a hard decision. I'm just going to let the roll be successful unless
It's fine.
Rudiger has an idea of how he wants to see it happen. But be afraid of his sword, and then it only lasts for a moment. Then he's not afraid of it. Maybe that strikes some chord, like when he first saw it, a memory. And I don't know. I'll let you decide.
I think it happens for just like a brief moment, and he like looks at the chain attached to his sword, and he like tries to fling it, and it like carries him around, and it like slams into the side of the caravan and gets stuck there. And then he realizes, like, this is my beloved. No, this ain't happening. And he just tries to pull it out, and probably spending time just pulling it out of the caravan.
Okay.
That's good. He does that while he cools down. I'll go and let's go talk to the caravan drivers, try to get this thing fixed up.
Asshole.
He's still there with a bloody face, like blood streaming down. I mean, it's fair. And the bard's just like,
Arian, you want to try and get the caravan drivers organized? I'm going to set up a perimeter. I've got an alarm spell.
well, let me ask you guys.
Yeah.
You can do that. That's fine, especially if you don't plan on moving. But you probably can't move, right? You might have to make camp. What do you guys think you want to do? The caravan drivers are like, we can probably have this fixed by morning, but we'll be extremely tired, or we can abandon it. But one guy's like, so someone's gonna take over for Crow. Who's the man or woman that, and what's their name that now takes over for Crow's spot?
Of the guards?
Yeah.
Of the other two drivers?
Of the other 3 drivers.
Okay.
Lillian, I would say.
What was it?
Lillian? I like it.
Lillian, we thought she was a man, but she's not. We just didn't notice her in the background until she stepped up. Lillian's like, I will be taking over, and I say we will get these fixed, and you slobs will guard us while we get it fixed, or even lend a hand. But we're going to have to make camp, so yes, put up a perimeter, Thunkel. Bard, sing us a tune, or go back to sleep, whatever you do.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Area the Dragon Slayer.
Ah, for Christ's sake.
Area the
Dragon.
Dragon.
Off and go do my magic.
The Dragon Slayer. Just
Rudiger's already pulled his fucking sword out of the caravan, and he's just like sitting there, like brooding with his hands on his hips, and he hears that, and he's just like,
And I think
he goes and he like kicks one of the goblin corpses off the road.
I think we see
Area looks at Rudiger, looks to Lillian, and is like, it's going to be like this for a while.
and I think that is where the camera pulls back on this episode and backs off as we see the alarm spell going up, the bard doing his thing, and they get to work on the caravans. And that's where we pull away for our first episode of Dungeon World. I think that was a great session. We already played the characters. I have a few end of session questions to ask you, which might earn you more XP. Where are you guys currently on XP here? Oh, Thunkles.
I am at 5.
5.
6, but I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
As I have an evil alignment, I gain XP from using magic called Terror and Fear. I cast Fear 3 times and
Yeah,
Fear 3 times.
we're going to get to that in just a second, actually.
Okay. Great.
Area, there is a place to mark your XP on your sheet. How much XP?
Oh, yep, I see it.
Okay, yeah. So put that there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let me ask you questions. But yes, Thad, you're exactly right. So end of session. When you reach the end of the session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise. Now, this might not happen today because it's the first session, but it might. Do you guys feel
Oh, I'm good.
that you've resolved a bond?
I got one.
No.
I think Area has.